You folks, welcome to Affiliate Nerd Out. I'm your host, Dustin Howes. Spreading that good word about affiliate marketing. You're going to find me every Tuesday and Thursday here on LinkedIn Live and anywhere you get your podcasts. So please consider subscribing. My nerd guest of the day is Mike Currey, affiliate manager over at Quince. Thanks for joining me, Mike, and welcome to the Nerdatorium.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it. And
Yes.
obviously, you have a better camera than I do.
Oh, well, the first rule about podcasting live is you can't look better than the host. That's it's podcasting or 101. I mean, this face is made for radio, but I have to do my best here.
Yeah, and the microphone too. I got this little. One day I'll get there.
I can hear you, and that's all that matters. Thanks
That's
for
true.
being here, buddy. Appreciate you. Today we're gonna go do some live Q&A about affiliate. Anybody that has questions about affiliate, jump on into the chat, hang out with me and Mike. We would love to spit any kind of information about affiliate. But without further ado, Mike, who are you?
Well, right now I'm the affiliate lead at Quince, not Quince, Quince.
Quince.
Kind of overseeing the affiliate channel, performance PR, or performance influencer. I guess a little bit of my background is I came from kind of randomly came into affiliates. I initially started in the music industry doing marketing, PR, print sales, programmatic display for Microsoft, and then rolled over into a 3-month contract at T-Mobile where I was doing display retargeting and affiliates, and I eventually came on full time to do affiliate over there, and
Okay.
got into the world of this 10 years about. So
Well, not your traditional story of like falling into affiliate.
yeah, I didn't even know
Uh,
what it was.
yeah, but not uncommon as well. Like affiliate is kind of a lot of everybody's, I don't know, stepping stone into marketing in general. But you went the other way, so that's an interesting move. But you must have figured out pretty early that you enjoyed the partnership aspect of all of this, right?
Yeah, and when I was doing like print sales, I did, print, digital, and sponsorship. So there's a lot of like collaboration and kind of building partnerships. And then when I moved into like agency, it's very rigid. It's like whatever the client is, whatever Google and um, trade desk tell you what to do. It's like there's only so much you can sway left or right. On the affiliate side, it's like you can make the partnership how you want it, and it really kind of spoke to how I was doing it, and like in print sales and in the music industry too. It's just how you two come together and build a partnership. And that's kind of what really is enticing me, is like there's so many different partnerships and how you connect all the technology now, and whether it's pay per call or a platform, or do we do direct mail, and how do you track that? Like there's so many different things that kind of keep you on your toes. So that's what keeps me going.
This is an ever changing industry that is that's what makes it fun. This role is never boring. It's always a challenge and it's always evolving. And um, that's a great point to bring up early. So if you want to know more about Mike and how to get a hold of him, there is a link in the chat now to his LinkedIn profile where you can DM him directly. So, Mike, let's talk about Quits. First off, this is pretty standard. Explain the name. I don't understand what a quince is, so give me a rundown of how we got there.
So it's a fruit in Southeast Asia.
Oh,
The owners are from India, so they traveled. I guess they kind of took it from that. The original name was Last Brand. I'm not really sure what that was. Like maybe it's your last brand you ever buy and stick with it. But somehow it evolved to Quince a couple years ago, and that's kind of where we went forward with. So the brand is about 4 years old. This is our 4th year. We're U.S. only. We are a men's, women, kids, baby, maternity, travel, home. I think we're going into Macy's world a little bit, but yeah, it's a lot of SKUs. We launch about 200 to 400 SKUs a month,
holy
whether it be
cow!
sizes or different products. Uh, Yeah, we're doing really well. The what makes us different is we're like an affordable luxury brand where when you
Okay.
order, we actually ship from the manufacturer. So we're a manufacturer to consumer model. We don't have warehouses technically.
Okay.
So that keeps the cost down and allows us to keep the prices down. So like our kind of flagship product is our $50 cashmere sweater for women, and men's like 59. Or you have organic bamboo bedding starting at $80. So it's a very comparable product to some of our competitors, but just kind of at a fraction of the cost.
Oh, that's smart. Okay. And uh, so the clientele, the customers are all around, and the affiliate program must be doing well with this. But you mentioned the SKUs in there. How are you keeping up with the data feed? That's got to be kind of annoying when you're bringing this many SKUs to the plate on a monthly basis.
Yeah, so we use feed economics. You
Okay.
have your master feed, and then it kind of goes in there and gets distributed out to whoever partners. Uh, yeah, so like right now, I'm using Feedonomics going into Pepper Jam, but Pepper Jam only has you cannot customize feeds in Pepper Jam, so I'm having to kind of hack a lot of the
Ooh,
feeds for the Style Light or Shop Styles or some of the others with Pepper Jam tracking in it. So yeah, that's kind of how we're tracking it. Each feed is adjustable based off of the publisher's needs, so that seems to be the easiest way to do it. That team over there is very good. You can submit a ticket, and then a couple of days you get a feed. Usually, I just clone it and make it a couple additions, but
okay.
yeah, it's working well.
Okay. What was that product again?
Feed economics.
Feed economics. I've never heard of that. Thanks for bringing that to the table. Okay. Uh, and how do you distribute that to the publishers? Like, is this a weekly cadence where you're putting out all the new SKUs to your top affiliates? Is this a newsletter once a month? How do you pass that on?
So our feed is a daily update.
Okay.
So whether it be for inventory or new products as well, we do. It kind of depends on what we're launching. We have either our PR newsletter that we launch with our PR schedule, using our in-house as well as our PR firm. Um, we just have our schedule we build out based off what products we want to pitch during that season and
Hmm.
syndicate it out with a accompanying newsletter. If there's a supplemental newsletter we send out, we'll send it out as well, depending on what type of publisher it is, discount or a content site and what they need. So
Cool.
we're obviously not launching and then syndicating 200 SKUs. That there is a system behind it of whether we even want this product to be out there because maybe it's still in testing or something.
Yeah.
So or seasonality is coming up. Obviously, fall is coming up, so maybe cashmere is our pitch again.
Okay.
Um, so
And you mentioned that you guys are a semi-luxury brand. Does that mean like coupon sites are out of the question, kind of thing?
yeah, we don't have any sales, so we're just kind of everyday low pricing. So
Okay.
I don't work with any coupon sites. A couple loyalty, but they're more gated.
Okay.
Your employer type of your airline stuff, things where you
Yeah.
actually have to sign up and be a member, not just traditional loyalty. I try to just limit any kind of discounting just because we just want the customer to realize that it's an everyday low price. But we work with a couple of loyalty just to kind of help maintain some of the existing customers so they feel like they're coming back and get a little bit of discounts and from a reward standpoint.
That's great. It's good that you have that open policy. Like Marchese and Big Time Evans came on, and we were talking about luxury brands a couple of weeks ago, and talking about how they will not discount or they will not work with coupon sites. But if you have an open mind, it really opens up your brand into a lot more potential of partners out there. And I've traditionally not worked with coupon and loyalty sites myself, but I will take that at least the doors open for interpretation and new potential deals.
Well, sometimes you have to offer a discount to even just get into the platform, like employee perk sites. They're not going to let you in
Yeah,
without a discount. So if you even want to even access, Amazon employees or something, you got to give something a little bit, or
yeah,
American Airlines. But we have very low margins, so
okay,
any discount could we could be actually be losing money in every single sale. So it just depends on the
Yeah.
product. So yeah, we try to limit as much as possible.
And are you going as granular as getting into like SKU based commissioning with the products you guys have, or is it a flat like percentage throughout the
Right
program?
now, it's just new versus existing. We have done some ski base.
Hmm.
We're going to be transitioning to another platform soon, so we'll probably kind of redo all of our commissioning structure to more probably category based. Because I walked into one of these affiliate programs and it was already kind of set up, and knowing that I was going to migrate, I just didn't want to change it right now.
Yeah.
But we keep adding more categories, and so now it's actually starting making more sense. Where 2 years ago, when the platform really was set up, it didn't make sense because we didn't have that many categories, so it was better for new and used. But things evolve, so you kind of have to switch because margins are very different from apparel versus home,
Yeah.
rug versus bedding. Like it's just not a flat same anymore. So we just can't do the same commission across all of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's got to be tough. And it sounds like you've got a lot of work ahead of yourself here on flipping platforms. Godspeed to you.
Yes, I did it at T-Mobile, and that was a very big learning experience. So
Oh my.
I got some behind, and I've already kind of planned it out. But yeah, it's going to take some little bit.
Awesome. Uh, how was that experience over at T-Mobile? I can't imagine like an affiliate program that big. That must have been monstrous.
Yeah, I walked into a program that was dormant for about 2 years, just kind of running in the background, nobody had idea what was going on. So yeah, I cleaned it up a bit. And then one day, the leadership said, "Hey, we're going to be turning off e-commerce and we're going to send everybody into a call center."
Hmm. Okay.
So that was either kind of like, do we make this a CPC program? Do we turn this thing off?
Yeah.
What do we do? And that's when we kind of figured out we should probably start tracking these calls, and not on a duration standpoint, on a SKU level standpoint. So
Hmm.
I hired Streamline Marketing at the time to help me with this, doing RFPs, and we RFP'd Marchex and Invoca and put them through the ringer and building code for us to test them.
Cool.
We eventually brought on Invoca because they already had some background with CJ and stuff, but they
Yeah.
were always called duration. They were never SKU level. So we built,
Hmm.
working with Impact, I hired Impact and then their engineering team, and we built it all together between us, Impact, and Invoca. Luckily, they actually are a few blocks away from each other in Santa Barbara,
Sure.
so that helps. But all together, we built SKU level tracking uh, with loyalty in mind. So I was actually swapping phone numbers on Next Jump, on Slick Deals, not just static phone numbers. It was session-based dynamics phone tracking. Um, so all of us had different phone numbers. I can track to this credit level, to the SKU level, and pay out just like as if they were on e-commerce. So that platform is actually what impacts sales today.
Hmm.
But yeah, it opened up a lot of doors for us. I was starting to do direct mail, built out display banners with, we had a questionnaire on our site for like a 5 questionnaire, and it had a phone number on it. So I actually made that funnel into display banners, and I put it in Impact, and people, Slick Deals would download it, and we could actually do the questionnaire on the site and dynamically serve phone numbers on third-party sites. So I was able to do like direct mail, pay per call, uh, did prints, phone book. Phone book was huge,
Holy cow.
Trevor.
Yeah.
So yeah, it opened up, just having the ability to put a phone number anywhere opened up a lot of opportunities. So yeah, the team did a really great job. Unfortunately, T-Mobile had 8 call centers just for telesales. They had like 5 for care, a couple for business. So it was like 13 call centers. So it made it a little difficult to track, but I just picked one, and I had own call center for affiliate program.
Oh.
But as soon as you transfer the phone call, that was the problem, because you technically lose. You're not getting any of the data back. So, but we were able to build some AI at the time and kind of model it using the algorithm of training it to track for conversions. And then we trained it even further with Adobe, to where if somebody said military iPhone did not convert, it would then went back into Adobe Experience Manager. So the next time they came to the website, they were shown an iPhone military hero image. So it got, yeah, like I said, just opened up a tremendous amount of personalization and other opportunities. It was essentially a full media program out of the affiliate across
Jeez.
many different media channels that was all on a CPA basis.
That's a crazy story of and learning experience, like putting that strategy in place and then executing, and then like it sounds like hurdle after hurdle too, and I think that's almost a common theme with pay per call. I would say. Have you done it since then, like replicating this with Quince?
Not there yet. I tried to do it at Blue Nile. We were in the process of it.
Right.
But in the meantime, I had leveraged Impact and I did T-Mobile. I had 20 tags on that website for Impact. At Blue Nile, did the same thing. I tagged all of our email sign up, all of our chat, virtual assistants,
Yeah.
everything. So I couldn't track any of the conversions. We hadn't got there yet, but I knew where our users were going into, because as soon as they go into chat, you'll never get that conversion data. So then you have your partners wondering, why am I not getting paid? Well, it's because all your customers are going into all these other funnels that the leadership didn't realize that it happens to across all the channels too, search, whatever. You're not getting conversion data. So, but at least by tagging, I can say, hey, I have a problem with chat.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can actually start adjusting my commission rates based off of that, to help make, at the time, the content partners. Some of our content partners are driving $30 million a year just from one
Jeez.
partner. So as soon as that started adding more of the chat box everywhere, all our customers went in there, they stopped promoting us. And so you kind of had to make good on there, because it's not their fault.
Right.
But yeah, I never got to fully finish that integration, but it was in the process.
Brutal. I mean, this industry is always a challenge, but you keep running into some very interesting and intriguing challenges here. That can be fun.
Yeah, I'm getting ahead of it for Quince too.
Okay.
Working with the care team, I'm like, are you going to throttle this up pretty quick? And because there is a process to it. Like T-Mobile had 3 different websites, and I always had to like work with all the engineering to make sure they put phone numbers everywhere, and so you always had to make sure the snippet of code was on every single phone number so that Invoke can track it. Otherwise, it did not dynamically swap.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you're always on your toes with it.
Yeah.
But
Interesting also that how are you supposed to call T-Mobile to buy a phone if you don't have a phone yet? Like, are people using landlines and
payphone,
payphone?
you'd be surprised how many calls we got from a phone book. I mean, they actually were a very good driver. And I did a million phone books I was in a million phone books with Display Banner. It was on a CPA.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, people call it all the time. It was like one of the highest converting, one of the best, most efficient channels I had. And
Huh.
a friend of mine who was in the paper call business, who worked for like 3 Day Blinds, I would go to paper call conferences, and 3 Day Blinds was just killing it with phone book. And so I'm like, makes sense. Might as well try it.
Give it a shot. Yeah. Awesome. We've got some comments in here. Looks like Kristen Big Time Evans is coming on in and talking about she feels for you, Mike. Oh no, did I just join in time for my migraine program? You sure did. Thanks for joining, Kristen, as always. And looks like so the building a team as a startup is very hard. Indeed. Building up your team in a startup fashion can be difficult. I like to outsource with virtual assistants. Mike, I don't know. Are you at a place yet where you're going to have people coming underneath you to hire?
So there's 2 other people on the team.
Great.
So luckily, it's scaling there. We need the help, especially. Yeah, so I think we've all kind of been in challenges. Sometimes the affiliates channel is not always the top of the list for media channels, and so you're always kind of fighting for some budget. I really don't have a ton of budget right now, but I got to prove yourselves. Yeah.
Sure. And that budget that you are getting, you're probably going towards influencers. And you mentioned offline, like performance influencer and PR, and merging these all together. Tell us about that journey that you've got going on here.
Yeah, so same thing. Like I started doing that at T-Mobile probably 2016. Just of having the phone and thinking outside the box, bringing on influencers. Luckily, T-Mobile had a name where influencers are willing to work on a CPA model because I didn't pay anybody. So we built out the whole platform, and actually at that time I leveraged Impact. I hired Aspire IQ for recruiting influencers, and then I worked in Impact. I had everybody sign up as an affiliate in Impact, and then I gave them Impact tracking in Aspire. So
Okay.
it's essentially kind of what I guess I was the beta for Impact and their creator platform. That's
Okay.
what they were leveraging some of before, but it's kind of all the same thing. It's but now it's so much better than it was before. But that's kind of how we started with it, was just running influencers on a CPA model and just having them do it. Uh, Maybe $100 here and there if we really needed to pay somebody, but
Okay.
yeah, everything was on CPA model back then. And then that's the last time I fully did influencer there. We're starting to do a little bit more in Quince too. We do have an influencer team as well. But yeah, I'll be leveraging some of the tools for like YouTube and TikTok
Okay.
and to love that more. Luckily today with some of the other brands getting in, influencers are a little more open to CPA.
Yes. Agreed.
Back in 15, 16, like, nope, not doing anything at all. But T-Mobile helped. People just, at the time, people wanted to work with T-Mobile and not.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if your brand's big enough, yes, they'll be in for it. Especially, and you can pay them in different ways. Maybe it's like a free phone line for a year or something too. I mean, you can get creative with it.
Yeah, so we had to do, because a lot of times because of the call, sometimes I wasn't always tracking. I wanted to make sure that they were getting paid. So we had them on a CPC too, like 25 cents. And if they hit a cart, they got a bonus. And if they converted, they got the balance. So I was always trying to model it like you're always going to make some money, whether you're just driving traffic, because the traffic is still valuable. And if you get a conversion, that's a bonus for you. So as an influencer, make sure you're driving better traffic because you actually get paid. So because it was so new, they're so adamant on upfront payments. I had to
Mhm.
find ways to like be creative and open to it. So CPC did help a little bit, just get some kind of wet the palate of getting money coming in, that it's not a pure CPA
Mhm.
type of thing. But yeah, that opened the doors a little bit.
Well, that's awesome. How about for your current company with Quince? What are you sending folks product to do reviews? Is that a good currency for you? Like unboxing was pretty hot a couple of years ago. I don't know, was it still hot? If this is still working for you when they get a gift from you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we work with our PR agency. Technically, our affiliate and PR are the exact same team. We don't have a separate program.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned that working from T-Mobile and Blue Nile. T-Mobile, I was doing performance PR, but they're two different teams. Blue Nile had a separate PR team and influence, and it was almost like we're competing each other, but
Yeah.
nobody was working together. But I kind of learned here it's best to keep it the same, and everybody's on a CPA model. All the content partners are on a CPA, so it just kind of works together, and we do give out product because we are seeding, tier one publications or
Yeah.
the mommy bloggers. Everybody gets it. We vet them on just like a traditional partner, and then gift them, and hopefully they review. Occasionally, we do some paid placements with them if we really need to get in there, but we get about 50 to 70 placements a week for our partners.
Oh,
And I'm talking like Forbes and larger. And I think it's just because we have so many SKUs. There's always something.
wow.
So we're always pitching. So it's, if you had a limited SKU, I don't think you would get that, because we didn't even get that at Blue Nile. I mean, I think we got maybe 15, 20 a week, if that. But we didn't have that many. There's only so much to talk about from a jewelry company.
Yeah.
But when you got, men, women, home, travel, you got so many products to talk about, so many different angles that it's just constantly there's some mention, whether it's be a dedicated article or just a listicle or something. So it's
Right. Well,
they're
that
not
makes you
70
look good.
dedicated articles, but they're just a mention.
That makes you look good.
So
That's
that's my
unique.
team. It's not the other two are doing really well, and then the PR team. So it's definitely not on me. So
Gotcha. Go team, go. Um, so with the unboxing, what's a good strategy you would suggest for retail product like yourself? I think there's two ways to go about it, right? You could take the influencer and say, "Hey, we want to send you this gift. Here's 100% off coupon for whatever you want to get," or you just send like, "Give me your address and we'll send you something." Like, what's your strategy going about getting an influencer that you want?
well, I think it's if you're just working with traditional, the main, we have our schedule and we send that out, and we work with our PR team too to figure out who gets what. But if you're working for just a smaller, you obviously want to ask them first, make sure it's relevant, and then I think the
Sure.
biggest part is asking them what would they like to review instead of just sending them something because they have
Ah,
maybe no interest. It's just like sending. I've learned when I worked for other apparel is celebrities, you don't just send them product because most likely that product is just going to their assistant because they don't care. You want them to ask for that product because they will most likely wear it. So it's the same thing. It's like a blog. Like what of the what do we have? Like say travel of the travel products. What would you like to review?
okay,
Are you going on a trip? Would you need a suitcase? You need um, uh, sleep mask or whatever it is. Like let them have interest in it, and then they can do a good review rather than just seeding them. There are times when you can seed them, but because you're just kind of doing a little bit of a mass one. But I think it's best to be a little more personal, show some interest in the product.
for sure. Uh, great calls there. Let's switch gears a little bit and go into a defend your post. Now, I didn't find a ton of stuff on you, Mike. Usually I sneak up on somebody and
Uh,
tell them, but I didn't have to look far today because right before this podcast, you said running 10 minutes late, dumpster fire at work.
yeah,
Now, let's talk about this. What's going on? What's a dumpster fire look like to you?
tracking probably, or
Okay.
just an ask from
Ah,
leadership or something. It kind of
from
needs
hires up.
to,
Okay. Got to
yeah,
happen
just
now.
analytics. I need stuff now, so kind of depends on the day, I guess.
Okay. Gotcha.
Uh,
And one of these good learning lessons is like how you deal with that, right? Like, uh, do you say, are you the yes man and you say, I'll get that to you right away and we'll get this taken care of, or you say, hey, I've got other obligations, I've got a plan today, I will get this to you at end of day kind of thing. What's your strategy about going about?
I think it also kind of depends on who is asking
Okay.
sometimes, and also the importance. I try to. I don't want to be a blocker for somebody. So if
Okay.
it's somewhat quick, I tend to kind of somewhat drop what I'm doing to get it to them, just because I want to be that team player of like they are quick. They because sometimes I want that ask back as well.
Sure.
But I just don't want to be like, yeah, I'll get it to you tomorrow. Well, that person might actually really need that right now. So it's like if I'm not in the midst of something that is dire need right now, yes, I can. It might maybe take me 10 minutes. Let me just do it and let them
For
continue
sure.
their work, and then I'll get back to what I was doing. Um, but yeah, I think I just try to be that type of worker with it, everybody.
Okay. Gotcha. I think I love asking. I love doing favors for people at work, especially. I want to be that team player as well. I think it's super important for affiliate managers out there to know, like, let's ask some follow up questions before we like go and say yes to something like that. Like, if they absolutely need it, like immediately, like find out what their time frame. Hey, when do you need this by? Something quick on Slack is going to suffice, and that'll help your workflow because you're busy as well as the affiliate manager, and helping people is great, but you've got a task to get done. So
Yeah.
Thanks. uh, Thanks for being on time today. By the way, good work.
Thanks. No problem. Try to be.
All right, switching gears again. Divisional commissioning. You brought this up offline, and I didn't know what this is. I took a wild stab at it in the dark, and I got it wrong. But tell us what it is and why you would use it.
So I get Blue Nile. We use our MTA. All the channels had to use MTA, and
Okay.
so we were, if two channels were involved, it's two channels were involved for $100 order. We each got $50 credit, and
Okay.
based off a number of hits, uh, if that media had 3 clicks versus 1, they would get 75% of that 100. So what we found was at Blue Nile, it was a $110 million program in impact, but it was an $80 million program in MTA. So we were paying 30 million extra commissions for last click and CPC. So my peer, we all thought like, hey, well, MTA is starting to come in and all the other channels are getting divisional percentage of credit revenue.
Okay.
Why is the affiliate program not doing that? Because there are multiple touch points, and you can do this too, whether it be preferred vendor or CPC, or there's ways to kind of do it. But at the time, I think it was like Impacted Altitude. They bought Clear Sailing and they built that, and it was kind of going that direction, and they just kind of stopped working on it. And I think Sharecell has it too, that built in, and some of the A1. But I just feel like one of the biggest challenges I found with leadership is a lot of leaderships don't think it's a very incremental channel. And because it's always last click, and they just have this perception, it's like, well, if we can kind of police ourselves and bring in some of this MTA modeling of partial credit, and we're starting to show that we are more of an incremental channel, that we are treated just like a search or display. And you might fold up in the full company MTA platform, but at the end of the day, we're still paying out on the last click. And it can really add up after a while. And leadership sees that last click payout, not what it does affect your CACs and everything. So,
And so with divisional commissioning, you're just suggesting like we split the attribution between affiliates or partially between other channels that are bucketed in that had a touch point in the funnel of that sale.
Yeah, because when at T-Mobile, I kind of throttled impact, and I mapped all of our channels from organic and paid across all the media, and so I could see where Google versus Bing came in right before Slick Deals and everything. And so from that alone, if you start looking at it, like, well, Slick Deals came in with a search, so technically, do they really deserve 100% of this commission when another channel kind of came in and helped also? So it's just that same kind of mentality of, I think we should be policing ourselves and then showing the leadership, hey, we are a significant channel, and we do try to be as incremental as possible as we can with other media in the platform.
Sure. Well, I mean, that has to be baked into your percentage of what you give away to the affiliates, right? And the affiliates that are driving that non-last click commission stealing sale, maybe we're paying them more if they're higher up on the funnel, or that's more important to us. So it's definitely got to be in that VIP commission zone, if you will, and keeping an eye on your numbers of what percentage of sales are coming from this affiliate that are really valuable to us, right? So how do you keep track of that? Like, how do you do reporting to keep your best affiliates on the top of mind?
At Quinn's, it's a lower challenge just from the platform I'm using right now. But at previous roles, a great analytics team to help build out some Looker and Tableau dashboards. I think that was the biggest player when we had really great data to understand where everything was going, and we can base off of the commissions off of that, whether it be the first click, last click, or should we do CPC versus a cart and everything like that. So it was very granular in the past, and to the point where when T-Mobile turned off their website, they lost all order data for every single marketing channel. Nobody realized that was going to happen. Adobe Analytics did not have any order data. So what we leveraged was Impact was the entire MTA for the company at that point.
Okay.
So I had everything mapped. And so just having the proper tools to be able to do that. Right now I'm using one platform that does not go outside of the affiliate channel. So I'm kind of blind when it comes to, is there some TM Plus activity prior? I do have Brand Verity and tools for that, but it's harder sometimes to get a quick answer unless they're truly bidding on it at the time. So having that platform that does have the full scope of all the other media channels mapped just really helps understand too what's happening.
Gotcha.
Whether or not you should be commissioning for that or not.
Gotcha. And speaking of tools that you're using, any best practices as we wrap this up? Tools that you're using, tools that you're finding really helpful that other affiliate managers out there might be interested in.
I mean, like I said, Brand Verity has saved me in so many cases.
Sure.
I found a major problem when I first started using Brand Verity, and quickly fixed that.
Great.
Media Rails was always a big fan of that, just from the all the kind of the drip campaigns that you can create for onboarding, and as well as for recruiting. Smartsheet was another one that was really good actually for onboarding, for questionnaires, and you can do it in Google as well. But I found Google, you cannot multi-select options. You can only select one option.
Okay.
So so like when you're asking that customer, what areas do you cover? Having that multiple questions, like, yes, I do travel, I do apparel, like this. It's a smart sheet, whereas Google, it's like you can only pick one, so you don't fully get the whole depth. When you're trying to onboard a partner and like have them answer questions, you can only get one answer, not multi. And then I've been starting to use Lyft, which is part of the LT Partners, kind of helping beta some of that. Still learning a bit, but it's helping out here and there.
Great. Well, Kristen Big Time Evans jumped in and said, Mike, what's your favorite campaign you've executed recently? Thanks for the question, Kristen. Mike on the spot.
Yeah, so let's see. At Blue Nile, this one was a little more complex. So we were doing direct mail, e-commerce inserts, newsletters and stuff, and how to track all that stuff. So we had built like tracking using affiliate links in direct mail and e-commerce using vanity links, mapping behind with at the time Impact tracking, and so we were actually able to track all that. That was a fun one just because it added that level of complexity. I kind of walked into it and had to take it on and just kind of figure out, like, well, if you want me to pay out on a direct mail, you're gonna have to figure this out. So yeah, so we had all that going. It wasn't a huge driver at the time, but it was definitely a fun project to kind of figure out multiple layers and mediums to pay on a CPA.
Very interesting. All right. Well, Mike, really appreciate you being here and dropping some knowledge for those folks. You can go into the chat below or check out this LinkedIn Live for more information on how to get a hold of Mike. One thing that shot up before we go, we used to call them fat finger affiliates. I can't think of the appropriate name for it, where they would misspell URLs. I would think Quince would get that, where they misspell a URL and it redirects through their affiliate link.
Yeah,
that has to be a little bit sketch for your guys' brand.
Yeah, I mean, we had, I'm sure we do, because we even have people like Quincy, or just how they say it. So
Yeah.
I think it's still relatively new fruit for people that don't really know. I didn't realize what it was till after this either, but yeah, I mean, even like today's show, they're like, is it Quince or like no, it's quince. Like you really every time we do this, we really have to make sure it's quince. Rinse, quince, like it's you have to tell them so in case they don't say that on air or something. It's quince.
Hey, that's how I that's how I read it. And Paul Kaka, just kidding, Paul. It's Kalka. Old friend of mine, CPA on direct mail. He's got a question mark. He's on it.com. He's got a huge brand that he's running that program. Hey, thanks for joining, Paul. I didn't know you were a listener. Way to go, man. Thanks. Awesome. Any more words on that CPA for the direct mail? Did it work?
It did. Did it at a few places. So the best thing to do is try to create a vanity URL, whether it be like, Quince /
right.
David's Bridal or whatever, for example.
Okay.
But when you build that vanity URL, you kind of build a custom link in your platform and you can just have a redirect of that. So every time somebody types in that vanity, it automatically fires the affiliate link. Or you can use a phone number too. It's another option.
Smart. All right. Heart you right back there, Paul. Thanks for joining in. All right. Wrapping things up here. If you would like to be a guest on, just like Mike is today, go to this QR code up here at the top. I'm looking at you, Paul. Go ahead and do that up with your phone, or go to dustinhouse.com/nerd, sign up, and we'll take a look at you. And if you would like to join me for a free 15-minute call, go to dustinhouse.com/pod. If you need help with anything affiliate, I am here to help. And if I'm not the right person for the job, I will point you in that right direction. Mike, appreciate your time today. Thanks for being with us. Any parting words?
No, just thanks for having me. Look forward to it every week. So it's my Tuesday, Thursday fix, Glad to be part of it.
Fantastic. Hey, thanks for watching, man. Appreciate that. All right, folks, take care. Keep on recruiting, and we'll see you out there.
Thanks for watching.